Okay, so today we're going to deal with something that's been bothering me ever since I found it on the car. This rust out here. Before I'm doing all this, the rad support and all, I'm doing this. Now, I'm going to explain to you how this happened. I'm pretty sure this is how it happened was from the years of leaves and crud building up in here and moisture. It was just kind of up on this, and you can see it's kind of rusted out in the back too. That I'm fixing too. And what it looks like was, how the water came down through here. You can see it's like a sandblast out. Anyway, water came down through here, that chute there. It looks like, and just kind of sat down in the fender with all the leaves and the piles and just held it up there. And the moisture just got to this real bad. And you can see too at some point, like, this here is bent that back out. But let's get started and let's start cutting. Another thing too I gotta deal with is I might just get a new door. What I'm gonna do is, instead of welding on these door hinges, like, I'll probably get bolted on like how it's bolted here. This will be easier. Yeah, let's get started with this rust out. Alright, well, I basically grinded everywhere I could. Reached the grinder on. I'm probably going to end up taking the sandblaster to it. Looks like more of an area, but I'm just going to cut this out in half. What I'm going to do is get my Sharpie marker. I'm going to mark where I want to cut it at. So, best point is, let's say, right here. I don't know if you can see that from the, I'll cut it from here. And then cross, maybe a little bit above that. Just marker died. But you can see where I'm going to cut it. I want to be able to have access to back inside there where I go to get the rust out. I'll probably sandblast inside there too with my spot blaster. So get the compressor to catch up. Now it did. I'll cut this out and have it ready. And if you're wondering what grit I'm using on it, found it knocks down heavy rust is, it's actually 16 grit. It's unless you know the right kind of body shop guy, this is real hard to get a hold of because 16 grit doesn't even really exist anymore. So now I'm gonna get the cutting of this. I'll probably leave you open, leave it playing as I do it. So I guess I'll mute out the high ringing of the cutoff wheel and play some cheesy 80s tunes while I'm cutting it. I got it partially cut off now. You can see on the inside it's rough, but it's not too rusty. There's like maybe one hole there. No, it's not even a hole, it's just a pit. Looks pretty pitted. Like, I can see here somebody tried to fiberglass this hole. Not very good either. Like, it's not even, I don't even think they sanded it. They just packed tiger hair over it. Yes. Yeah, they just packed it over there. That isn't even sticking. Well, I'm going to get in there and put in a patch panel on the front and outside. So, I'll probably give this a good sandblasting on the inside and see how bad it is, and then, get all the nasty out. So I'll be back after I get it all cleaned up, after I get it sandblasted. Now that I got most of the rusty metal cutout. And use my speed blaster here, which is just a gravity-fed sandblaster. I'm gonna get all this rust, sandblast it out. See how bad it looks after I do the sandblasting. So here's the before of it all. That too. I'll show you the after. Well, here's the first wave of the sandblasting. This is pretty clean still. And that's still looking nasty. That's gonna need a patch panel too. But no big deal. That in there, it's starting to clean up a little bit. You can't see it now, I have a flashlight on me. But one tip I'm gonna give you if you're gonna try using a spot blaster like that is, have like a tarp down or a sheet to catch the sand. Like I put a t-shirt here for the areas where it is going to be. And one good tip to save money, if you want to clean it up, make sure you have a broom too, and sweep it all up into a pile, scoop it up, and then get like a window screen or your wife or girlfriend's or your spaghetti strainer and put it on top of something that you can pour the sand back into. Sift it through, you get all the dirt out, and then you can reuse it, you know, until the shit's worn out. I had to do that when I worked in my old body shop. My boss put me under a car, and I had to sandblast the undercoating out from under. And I didn't use a spot blaster like that. I used one that had the dead man valve on it, and the tank was there, and there was hoses, and I had to put my respirator on and all. That's one thing. Dust mask and safety glasses needed. Yeah, and you can wear a face shield too, because this stuff does bounce back and shoot at your face. But here's the first wave so far. Now here is the third wave. It basically did what I wanted it to. Got all the heavy rust out, and now I'll be able to get all prepped and ready. I'm gonna spray this stuff on it that I bought a couple years ago, called Permatex Rust Treatment. I used it on one job for just a small spot thing, for the pits. So I'm gonna use it on this. I don't know how well it will work, but you know, I'm not doing like a whole concourse restoration, like a whole top of the line restoration on this car. I'm trying to get it back to my daily driver, really, because that's what I really like using it for. You always depend on these 305s, and so I'm gonna still put a patch panel in here. I mean, I know most guys, they would probably just end up fucking slapping some fiberglass back behind there and probably on this too, who knows. Some Bondo and tinfoil. I hate it when people do that shit. Yeah, so I'm gonna get this all cleaned up. Alright, so I got that kink hammered out now. Still a little nasty, but not too worried. Nobody's gonna see it. I mean, and one more tip I'm gonna give you when you're sandblasting: keep all your air tools covered up from getting sand in them. Keep them away from it all, because I once had a really nice die grinder. I was using it to clean off, and I was sandblasting, and that was right near there, and it kind of got in it. I had to break the thing down and get it all cleaned out. But there it is, the rust out. Let's get this shit sprayed on there. Shake it up. Now, if you're wondering what kind of sandblasting media I use, I just use glass bead. They have like a lot of other things you can use to do with sandblasting. I know there's glass bead, walnut shell, aluminum oxide, a lot of oxides. I don't know. You can look up a list on what stuff you can use for sandblasting, like they sell it. Yeah, I don't recommend using regular beach sand because it'll clog the hell out of the gun. But let's get this sprayed down. First, I want to use my air hose. Any more loose sand inside there, I'll blow out inside there. Oh yeah, and I did have a boo-boo. I cut through some double wall steel. I can just patch it up, patch bead quick across with a welder. That's some kind of bracing. I'm probably going to end up cutting that out anyway, replacing it. You see, all crap and metal. Still come out. There you go. It's my rust converter now. goes on clear and that turns black, put 2 or 3 coats. Like, you gotta give it a 10-minute interval and then wait 24 hours for a full dry. And what this will actually do too is it'll harden up and leave a nice coating inside. It'll be kind of, well, you can't really permanently stop the rust, but it'll give it a somewhat temporary rust-resistant area. I'm going to spray the rest of this, and I guess tomorrow we'll get inside and sandblast and put a patch panel on the inside. So for now.